I want to think out loud, not to teach, not to preach, not even to explain, just to think, as if I'm walking with my own thoughts and suddenly decide to speak them out in case someone out there is willing to think along with me. I want to reflect on something that exists everywhere, in homes, offices, family chats, taxi rides, night talks on the road, behind locked phones, and hidden behind polite smiles. Something that has always been with us, but rarely do we stop and really think about it. I want to talk about gaybat. It's a Persian word, one that doesn't translate cleanly into English. It refers to speaking about someone in their absence, especially in a way that they likely wouldn't approve of. It's usually labeled as gossip, sin, betrayal, or dishonor. And yet, it happens, constantly, universally, quietly. So I'm not here to defend it. I'm not here to condemn it. I'm not speaking from the viewpoint of religion or morality or psychology. I'm speaking simply as a human who has seen how this silent shadow moves through everyday life, often unnoticed but always present. Gaybot. If it's so wrong, why is it so common? If everyone condemns it, why do almost all of us do it? And more importantly, if it didn't exist, what would we lose? This is not a call to action. This is not a moral lesson. This is just an invitation to think, freely, honestly, and maybe uncomfortably. Not as we've been taught to think, but as we actually experience it. Not as we're supposed to say, but as we silently wonder when no one's listening. That's what we try to do here at FactUp Realm. We're not here just to talk. We're here to rethink what we already know, to look again at what everyone sees, but no one really looks at. We're here to ask better questions, even if we have no answers. So if this reflection stirs even a small thought in your mind, if it makes you pause, then we've already achieved something. Let's begin from here. What is gaybot? Why does it exist? And what would our world be without it? Part 2. What if gossip never existed? Let's go deeper. What would we lose, truly lose, if gossip didn't exist? If no one ever spoke about anyone else in their absence, no warnings, no subtle evaluations, no whisper of, watch out for that one, no quiet, she's different when no one's watching. Would that be a better world? Or would it be a more silent, cautious, repressed one? Maybe gossip is not only a social vice. Maybe it's also a social tool, a primitive, unfiltered, often messy way to pass along experience, signal danger, transfer trust, or share disappointment. Maybe it's how we train each other without lectures. Maybe it's how societies for centuries have protected themselves when laws, courts, or honesty weren't enough. We don't always gossip because we're cruel. Sometimes we gossip because we're afraid. Sometimes because we care. And sometimes, yes, because we just want to say something, and someone else's name feels easier than silence. But here's a more uncomfortable truth. What if gossip isn't about the person being talked about at all? What if it's more about the person who speaks, and even more about the one who listens? Because I've seen this. Two people hear the same piece of gossip. One walks away with caution, the other with judgment. One gains empathy, the other collects ammunition. So maybe gossip is not just about what's said, but what it awakens inside us. Do we believe it or question it? Do we enjoy it too much? Do we start seeing someone differently just because of a whisper? Now imagine this. Someone speaks about you behind your back. You never hear it. But the person they spoke to does, and they treat you differently from that moment forward. That's the true power of gossip. It alters reality in your absence. It rewrites how people see you, without your voice, without your version, without your chance to respond. And worse, we've all done it to others. Sometimes with the best intentions, sometimes with none at all. So maybe the real danger of gossip isn't just that it exists. Maybe it's that we pretend it doesn't, even while we continue to shape the world with it, sentence by sentence. If this resonates with your intention, I'll proceed with part 3, where we'll reflect on gossip as a human mirror, something that reveals more about ourselves than the people we talk about. Let's shift the angle. Maybe gossip isn't so much about them, but about us. Maybe gossip is a mirror that doesn't just reflect others, but quietly reveals who we are when we think no one is watching. When we talk about someone behind their back, what are we really expressing? Are we simply describing their behavior? Or are we, often unknowingly, revealing our own perspective, our own judgments, our own place in the world? The same sentence said by two different people can carry completely different weight, because gossip isn't just what is said, it's who says it, why they say it, and who they say it to. We've all seen it. Someone makes a comment about a third person. On the surface, it sounds neutral, but the listener smiles a certain way. They file it away. They shape a story, not just about the one being talked about, but about the speaker. Sometimes gossip reveals less about the person absent and more about the person present. Through our tone, our choice of words, the way we pause or emphasize or even pretend to care, we expose ourselves. Are we trying to destroy someone, protect someone, look wise, control the conversation? Are we using someone else's flaws as a mask for our own pain? Even as listeners, gossip unveils us. Someone gossips to us. We are faced with a choice. Do we stay silent, join in, ask questions, defend the person? Do we take the story and carry it forward? Our reaction to gossip is, in itself, a confession. A silent one, but honest. And maybe one of the reasons we avoid thinking about gossip too deeply is this, because it brings us too close to a part of ourselves we don't want to face. Let's be honest. We've all played a role in gossip. We've all said something behind someone's back, heard something, kept quiet, or passed it on. Not because we're evil, but because we're human. And humans constantly build mental images of one another, especially in absence. Gossip is part of that image making. And maybe, instead of denying it, we can learn to do it with awareness, with care, and with integrity, or choose silences that are actually meaningful. Until now, our thoughts lived in the mind. But let's step into the streets, into life's crowded rooms and quiet corners, where gossip is no longer theory, but a force that moves people and shapes outcomes. A mother tells her daughter, "Don't hang out with that girl too much. Her family, they're not the kind you want around." Is it gossip? Yes. But what's the intention? Protection, prejudice, fear, or just habit? Two coworkers quietly say about another, "He doesn't really do much, just flatters the boss." No proof, no confrontation. But reputations collapse this way, invisibly. Someone compliments a person who's not present, but only to appear generous, virtuous, admired. Is that kindness or manipulation? In a family gathering, someone says, "She never got married. You know her mother was strange too." Now, gossip isn't targeting just one person. It poisons an entire lineage. Gossip is sometimes just a passing remark, sometimes a hidden wound, sometimes a defense, sometimes a strike, but always a human response. And that response, like all human power, can quietly build a future or quietly destroy one. Part 5. Can we truly know others without gossip? Let's test a bold idea. If we could never think or speak about someone in their absence, could we truly know them? We often say, you should hear it from the person themselves. But in reality, most of our understanding of others doesn't come from direct conversation. It comes from stories, reflections, fragments, and yes, from gossip. Humans are comparative beings. We define ourselves in relation to others. Who is trustworthy? Who is dangerous? Who is with us? Who is against us? We build these maps not in presence, but in absence, in quiet conversations, in whispers. Gossip, linguistically, may mean talking behind someone's back, but philosophically, it is a tool for constructing the image of the other. And without an image of the other, we may never truly construct ourselves. But are the images we build fair? Are they truthful? Of course, not always. Gossip is not pure sin, but it's not pure truth either. It is a conditional kind of knowing, one that must be held lightly, carefully, with awareness of its limits. And that's where our responsibility begins, not in silence, but in being aware of the power hidden in our words. It's not always in the telling. Sometimes a single sentence slips out of someone's mouth and stays in your mind. You don't repeat it. You don't even fully believe it. But still, it changes something. Just hearing gossip is enough. It plants a seed in the soil of your thoughts. You may forget it, but days, weeks, or even years later, in a decision, a glance, an instinct, that seed sprouts. The mind doesn't stay neutral. The mind is like fertile ground. Every word that lands in it is either rejected or quietly grows. The most powerful gossip may be the one you never repeat, but still carry inside you, changing how you see someone long after the words have faded. Can we resist gossip? Not by shouting, not by suppressing, but by becoming aware of ourselves, by asking, have I judged someone based only on what I heard, not what I saw? Have I altered my relationship with someone based on another's story? Has my silence become a hidden agreement? If we ask ourselves just these questions, maybe we won't become careless speakers or thoughtless listeners. Maybe we'll finally become people who take responsibility for their own minds. Why, in cultures that openly condemn gossip, do almost all people still participate in it? Is it hypocrisy, or is it an unspoken admission that gossip, for better or worse, serves a deep and hidden human need? In many cultures, gossip is publicly condemned. At home, in schools, from pulpits, in laws and moral teachings, we're told, gossip is bad, don't gossip, don't listen to it, don't spread it. But behind these signs and slogans, life continues. And in the same homes, schools, religious circles, or social gatherings, almost everyone is involved in gossip. Some speak it, some hear it, some simply pretend not to notice it. Why? Is it just cultural hypocrisy? Do we preach one thing and practice another? Or is there something deeper happening here? Maybe this contradiction isn't proof of moral failure, but proof of a hidden need. Maybe we do know that gossip can harm, but at the same time we feel that without it, we wouldn't know how to navigate the social world. Because gossip isn't always destructive. Sometimes it's diagnostic, sometimes it's a silent form of communication. Sometimes it's the only way to make sense of others when open dialogue feels impossible. So maybe this contradiction doesn't make us hypocrites. It makes us human, caught between danger and need, between what we're told to reject and what we quietly rely on. Maybe it's time we stop pretending. Maybe it's time we look at gossip honestly, not with judgment or fear, but with one honest question. If everyone says gossip is wrong, but everyone does it, then maybe we need to ask again, what is gossip really? I don't want to end this with a conclusion. I don't want to tell you gossip is good or bad. I don't want to say what you should or shouldn't do. I just want to offer something simple. Look at how gossip moves around you. In the words others say, in the things you say without realizing, in the reactions you observe, in the silences that feel heavier than any sentence. Look at how gossip sometimes builds and sometimes burns, how sometimes it reveals truth and sometimes just dresses imagination in the clothes of reality. And then ask yourself, when you heard something about someone, did your mind change? Is the picture you have of that person based on your own experience or on someone else's sentence? When you speak about others, do you ever see yourself in the words you choose? We may never eliminate gossip, but we can make it less unconscious. If gossip is going to exist, let it come with responsibility. Responsibility in listening, responsibility in speaking, and most of all, responsibility in shaping how we see others. If we can just observe a little more carefully, lie to ourselves a little less, then gossip may no longer be a silent poison. It might even become a mirror, or a silence that finally means something. And maybe that's enough, for now. If this reflection made you pause, even for a moment, then maybe that's where real thinking begins. At FactUp Realm, we don't offer easy answers. We ask harder questions. We don't claim truth. We invite you to look again, to think deeper, and to see what others might have missed. If that's the kind of journey you value, subscribe to the channel, join the conversation, and let's keep thinking together. Not louder, but clearer. Thank you for watching.